You can forgive a stranger. You can understand their mistakes. You can even defend them in your mind. But when it comes to you, it's different. You remember everything, every word, every decision, every moment you wish you could redo, not as a story, but as something still happening inside you. You replay it in silence, not because it changed, but because you never really stopped reliving it. And that raises a question most people never ask. Why are you more understanding toward others than toward yourself? There is a voice inside your head. It sounds like you, but it doesn't feel like you. You should have known better. That was stupid. You always do this. Psychology calls this the inner critic, but it didn't start as an enemy. It started as protection. Your brain is not designed to make you happy. It is designed to keep you alive. And one of its oldest survival strategies is simple. Remember pain. Avoid repetition. This is called negativity bias, a built-in system that makes mistakes feel louder than success. Because in ancient environments, forgetting danger meant risk, and risk meant survival failure. So your brain stores failure differently. It highlights it, replays it, strengthens it, not to hurt you, but to protect you from becoming someone who repeats it. The problem is, you are no longer in that environment, but your brain never updated the system. So what was once survival now feels like self-attack. Here's where most people misunderstand something important. They think, if I'm kind to myself, I will stop improving. But psychology shows the opposite. Being harsh with yourself doesn't create growth. It creates fear, and fear does not expand you. It shrinks you. Real change requires something different, not punishment, but awareness. This is what researcher Kristen Neff defines as self-compassion. It has 3 parts. 1, self-kindness, speaking to yourself without violence. 2, common humanity, realizing you are not the only one who struggles. 3, mindful awareness, observing emotions without drowning in them. Self-compassion is not, it's okay, nothing matters. It is, this matters, and I can still face it without destroying myself. Because punishment does not fix behavior. Understanding does. You don't struggle with forgiveness because you lack knowledge. You struggle because memory is emotional, not logical. Your brain does not store events as facts. It stores them as feelings. So even when you understand something intellectually, your body still reacts emotionally. That's why guilt doesn't disappear with logic. It disappears with repetition of safety. And safety is not something you think. It is something you experience over time. This is why self-forgiveness feels delayed. Not because you are stuck, but because your system is still updating. It does not start with confidence. It starts with honesty. Step 1, name the emotion. I feel guilt. I feel regret. I feel shame. Not to analyze it, but to stop running from it. And underneath that, you may realize something deeper. You've been carrying this longer than you admitted. Step 2, change the language. Instead of saying, I am a failure, say, I made a mistake. Instead of saying, I always mess things up, say, I didn't know better at the time. Language doesn't just describe identity. It builds it. Step 3, write to yourself. You sit down, no pressure, no expectation, and you write, not as a judge, but as someone who understands, the way you wish someone had spoken to you when it first happened. And slowly, something shifts, not the past, but your relationship with it. Even when you understand everything, it still doesn't feel easy. Because healing is not intellectual. It is emotional retraining. Your mind remembers feelings, not explanations. And feelings take time to soften, not because you are resisting, but because you are rewiring. So forgiveness is not a moment. It is a process of repeated safety, where the past stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like something that already happened. You are alone again, same mirror, same silence, but something is different. The voice is still there, but it is no longer the only voice. Another voice appears, not louder, just calmer. You were trying your best with what you knew at the time. And for a moment, you don't argue with it, not because everything is forgiven, but because everything is finally understood. And that is where change begins, not in erasing the past, but in no longer using it as a weapon against yourself. Because at some point, you have to stop being both the person who made the mistake and the person who never lets it go. You are allowed to be only one of them. And maybe that is what self-compassion really is. Not forgetting, not excusing, but finally letting yourself stay human without punishment. And when that happens, you don't become someone new. You become someone lighter. Not because life changed, but because the way you carry it did. If you've ever struggled to forgive yourself, you are not alone. Share your story in the comments. And if this video spoke to you, subscribe to Noctive Mind Stories. Because sometimes, the deepest healing starts with understanding your own mind.